At the end of June, I took a ferry from Stockholm, Sweden to Helsinki, Finland to volunteer at Helsinki Pride. I spent a couple of days selling pride flags, informing about various events, and above all, meeting some really cool people. One day after my shift, I attended a workshop where we crafted a carpet, and there I met Piisu, who agreed to participate in a video.
I'm Piisu Tuominen. I live here in Vantaa in Finland, and I'm a non-binary person. I'm also bisexual, and I work with employment services, and I think that I'm a pretty positive person.
And they are quite new in this gender identity.
I discovered that I'm non-binary just like 2 years ago, I think, during COVID. I started to have these conversations with my partner, and I was like, so you do feel like you're a woman, right? And I was like, yeah, I really don't feel like I'm a woman, right? And that is quite how I got through it. And then I was like, yeah, I think that I'm non-binary, that I might be trans. And then as the time went by and I started talking to other trans people and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, yes, well, I'm definitely non-binary. That is who I am, and it has been quite a journey.
The journey looks different for everyone, but for Piisu, the next step will include medical treatments.
At the moment, I'm trying to get medical healthcare from Finland for my trans journey. It is still in very early progress with that. I will hope that it's going to go well. The trans process in the Finnish medical field is a long journey, and they can basically kick you out at any point, and that is quite intimidating when you're you want to get all these treatments, but you're scared that they will be like, no, you're too anxious or depressed, or your situation in life isn't good for this, and they can just basically kick you out. And it's pretty intimidating. Since I'm a non-binary, I'm trying to get a diagnosis to get all the treatments that I want. But since I am a non-binary, it's harder to get genital surgery here in Finland, because there are two diagnoses which are for non-binary people and trans people. And the trans people, the diagnosis is it includes everything that you want. And for the non-binary people, it can include hormones and mastectomy, but not genital surgery at all. So yeah, that kind of sucks when you want to get rid of your uterus or something like that, and you just can't get it because of that diagnosis.
But Piisu doesn't let the weight of this process or uncertainty drag them down.
It can be anxious and it can be scary, but at the same time, I'm very, very, very happy about the fact that I am non-binary, that I found myself. I do feel like I know myself better, and I don't have to pretend to be a woman like I have been for 25 years of my life. That is a long time. But it's nice to be non-binary, I think. It can suck, but then you get all these trans people around you, and we can be together this sucks, but at least we have each other, and we can be the weirdos together. We don't have to fit into the cis heteronormative society, and we can be together as we are.
And there are more reasons that they're happy to be non-binary.
I'm very happy about being non-binary because I feel like there are no rules of how I dress or how I look or anything like that. And because I have always expressed myself through clothes and hair and everything like that. And I feel like I have been always caged to how a woman can look like or how a man should look like, and all this bullshit that is going around. When I realized that I'm a non-binary person, I was like, okay, so I can basically do whatever I want. There are no rules, so let's get into it. It's nice to be who you are and dress how you want, and there are no rules, and you can just put on whatever you want, and you can look whatever you want, basically. And if someone looks at you like damn, that person is looking strange or anything like that by the way I look or how I dress or anything like that, I'm like, Yeah, but they're cishet people. They don't understand. Like, yeah, just leave them be.
Something that I personally find really interesting is how our languages can both limit and expand the way we identify. And this is how Piisu identify in Finnish.
So I identify myself as muun sukupuolinen in the Finnish language, which doesn't really mean non-binary in the English language. Muun sukupuolisuus, it's like other binary if you like translate it like strictly from Finnish to English. And it's not really defining it the same way as non-binary does. When you have that word which describes like the binary world and you're out of that, muun sukupuolisuus is more like you're an other gender than man or woman. And that is also kind of problematic in the Finnish language, because now that we have started to talk about more about non-binary people, we also use a lot about like the word muun sukupuolisuus, which doesn't really tell a lot about non-binary people or agender people here in Finland. And people have started to categorize like non-binary people, agender are all the same muun sukupuolisuus category here in Finland. And that can be problematic because some people are agender or something like that, and it can be problematic. So that is why some people have chosen not to identify as muun sukupuolinen in Finnish language. But I feel like that represents me very good, because I'm not a woman and I'm not a man. I'm something else, which is like muu. And that is a very good definition of me, but I do understand the problematic behind it.
Another thing that's great about being non-binary is to be able to be part of the trans community.
My experiences as a trans person about the trans community have been really good and really welcoming. Not that I have experienced it a lot like in real life since the COVID, but now that everything is opening up and we have this Helsinki Pride, for example, I think that it has been very, very welcoming. Like, I have made so many good friends through internet and through all these like groups that we have. At the moment, I'm going to the parade, Saturday, Helsinki Pride Parade, with all the trans friends that I have gotten. And that is so great, because I really thought for a long time that I'm the only one thinking about like I'm different and I'm the only trans person that I know that anyone knows, or that I don't have any trans friends anywhere. So I'm the only one and I'm alone, but it's not like that. You just have to be really open about it and be able to talk to people or connect them through internet or through anything. And you can find very meaningful people and contacts through that.
And Piisu talks about one thing that is extra powerful about this community.
When I have been in some of these like queer spaces, I haven't been like misgendered or anything like that. So I think that the community is really, really sensitive, as they should be. It's really nice, since there are times when you get like misgendered a lot or something like that. So it gives like so much power and will to live, to be with people who respect you and respect your existence, and they don't think that you're just trying to find like publicity through your identity, which is like horrible. But it's nice to be around people who respect you and they want to know you on a deeper level than just like, oh, you're this person. When you're with queer people in general, it's always like you get really deep really soon in the topics, and I think that is such a great power that we have in the community, that we can step through like all the bullshit that happens at the start, like yeah, where do you work and stuff like that. We can straight get to like your traumas. No, not really, but but as the journey as a human beings.
Finally, I asked Piisu what they would say if they could talk to themselves before they realized that they were non-binary.
If I could tell myself like 2 years ago, when I still thought that I was a woman, I would tell myself like oh, wake up, you're not a woman. How can you not see all the signs? But I would like to say to a person who is in the similar situation, surround yourself with people that you think are different than yourself, and have those meaningful conversations with them. Of course, they have to be safe people, so you can have those conversations. And if you have any of those like really negative people around you, just let them be. You don't have to get rid of them, but just let them be for a while. You can take space and time for yourself and just figure out what do you want in life and who are you and what is the thing that you want to be in the future and stuff like that. How do you want to dress and how do you want to keep your hair or something like that. And you can always like try new things. Don't be afraid to try it. Just start dressing up differently. You don't have to dress up like to go anywhere, just like at home. Just try new things and you can find something new about yourself that you didn't even know.